Joining us now is Democratic Congressman Mike Levin of California. Congressman, great to have you here. A lot happening this morning, even on the Epstein front. We heard the president, as he was departing for Scotland, asked about whether he would consider pardoning Ghislaine Maxwell, who's being interviewed today for a second day by the Deputy Attorney General. He said he hasn't thought about pardoning her. First, do you believe that?
No, I don't believe that. I'm sure he has, and we all have to be very cognizant that Ghislaine Maxwell's testimony is not to be trusted in any event. But what is clear is that we were all sent home yesterday for the entire month of August. And yesterday, I'm on the Appropriations Committee. We were supposed to vote on a very important spending bill. And we were offering amendments related to getting to the truth about the Epstein files. And they didn't want to have any consideration of any of the amendments in that committee or any committee. And, you know, the only one on their side exhibiting any kind of courage is Tom Massey, who has what's called a discharge petition that we're going to have to vote on one way or the other in the next couple of months. So it's very clear to me that the Republicans want no part of this. And Mike Johnson is really stuck in between a bunch of his members who will basically say whatever Donald Trump wants them to. Donald Trump could say, you know, the sky is red, and they would all say the sky is red. And
well, he didn't say that it was a hoax, though, and Donald Trump is saying it's a hoax. So he has broken with the president at times. He has called for transparency. There has been a bit of bipartisanship over getting the Epstein files as far as what, you know, we've reported and some of the interviews that we've conducted throughout the past couple of weeks that suggest, you know, there could be a subpoena from the House Oversight Committee for testimony from Ghislaine Maxwell, among others, for getting the DOJ to provide more files. So I'm curious to get your thoughts on all of that. When we talk about, first of all, Maxwell, I want to just come back to her interviews today. Yesterday, after her interviews, her lawyer said it was very productive, that Maxwell, quote, honestly answered every single question that Blanche had asked. Do you have confidence, first, in Todd Blanche doing this interview and assessing Maxwell's honesty? Well, I think to your earlier point, I don't have confidence that any of this is going to be on the level with the Trump administration in charge. And I think Mike Johnson is stuck because you've got some Republicans who will just do whatever the president wants and are incapable of any sort of independent judgment or thought at this time. But then you've got some on the very far right, the Freedom Caucus folks, who have expressed for years the need to get to the truth on Epstein. And really, MAGA has empowered a lot of this by continuing to foment all of this. And so Johnson is stuck. Remember, Ana, that because of the way that you can motion to vacate the chair, it just takes 9 of these people, and Mike Johnson will be removed just like Kevin McCarthy was. So I think Johnson is very much about surviving. He, I think, has gotten a little bit sideways with Trump on this. And I think he's, you know, I think it's emblematic of the Republicans not knowing which way to turn. So the easy answer was just send us all home. Huh, interesting. Let's play some of what we've heard from the House Speaker and how his messaging maybe has evolved over the course of the last couple of weeks, because he's getting lots of questions about Epstein. Watch.
We should put everything out there and let the people decide it. I mean, the White House and the White House team are privy to facts that I don't know. I mean, this isn't my lane. I haven't been involved in that. But I agree with the sentiment that we need to put it out there. Pam Bondi, I don't know, when she originally made the statement, I think she was talking about documents. As I understood it, they were on her desk. I don't know that she was specific about a list or whatever, but she needs to come forward and explain that to everybody.
My belief is we need the administration to have the space to do what it is doing. And if further congressional action is necessary or appropriate, then we'll look at that. But I don't think we're at that point right now because we agree with the president.
So what is your sense? Who is the speaker listening to right now as it relates to the Epstein files and making decisions about what the House does next? In my view, Mike Johnson is the weakest speaker in the modern history of the House of Representatives. He does whatever Donald Trump wants him to do. He is basically an extension of the Trump administration, and he no longer sees Congress as a co-equal branch of government. And on this particular matter, though, he and the president may be a little bit sideways because Johnson is also about self-preservation, and he knows that all it will take is a handful of those who want the facts, want to work with Democrats on a bipartisan search for the truth with all of this. And so he's stuck. Johnson is stuck. But I think it's very interesting. You ran a clip from Senator Mullen, and he got into the back and forth with my good friend Ruben Gallego
on the Senate floor. And Senator Mullen said the quiet part out loud. He said we need to provide cover for the president. And that's what this is all about. If you look at the resolution that he brought forward in the Senate or the one that Ralph Norman brought forward in the House, those were designed as non-binding.
Non-binding.
And they were basically to provide cover to the administration. Whereas what Massey wants to do with Ro Khanna on a bipartisan basis is to get a majority of members to sign a petition and then do a real binding resolution. That's what we need. And Johnson's not going to be able to prevent a majority from signing and bringing that to the floor in September or October.
So it might just be delayed because of the summer recess, but you feel it's not going to let up during that time. Well, let's keep talking. Thank you so much for taking the time to come in and visit with us before I know you head back home to California. It was good to have you here. And I'd also love to talk other issues with you a different day.
Anytime.
Congressman Mike
Anytime.
Levin, thank you.
Ana.